Do you remember when Tupac got signed and all that? Were you around?
I was in juvenile hall.
Okay.
When he got signed, when he came, and I remember telling everybody, like, oh, when I'm out of here, that's where I'm at. And it all came to fruition, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it was only maybe 3-4 months or something like that before once he got there, then I came.
What memories do you have of Tupac? Like interactions with him? Do you have any specific?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, from the studio first, like the first time he heard me like rap, he came in and he was saying, man, I heard, Suge was telling me he bring the little homies up here, so a couple of them just got out of jail or whatever, and like, don't nobody, I just on some gangster shit. And then he like, but my homeboy said, well, nah, but he be rapping, you know what I mean? So he like, yeah, so I freestyle, he like, oh yeah. Like, keep doing it, you know what I mean? Besides that, like I said, we was always at the studio. Like, he lived at the studio, we stayed at the studio.
Right.
So it was just a bunch of random moments, I can tell you, running around. I mean, when people say he had Madonna and this and that up there, that shit is true.
What do you remember about?
Damn, I'm like, what? He had popping, man. But she did, people say yes or no, she definitely been at Can-Am, for sure.
She was at Can-Am?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I think it was his birthday, something like that. And like people was running in and out all day. You know what I mean? They came through, she hung out with him, and then they went in the studio. And they didn't do no music, they were just hanging out. Right. I knew she liked me, easy, you know what I mean? Can I say if he fucked her or not? I don't know. Probably.
How did the other Mob Pirus feel about Tupac? 'Cause he kind of was claiming Mob a little bit. Like, what was your perspective on that?
See, the thing about before he even came to Death Row, we was all fans, especially my generation, you know what I mean? So when he came and he got with the homies, I mean, he could have went with the dog, whatever choice he wanted to do, because it wouldn't have been no hard feelings. He just kind of jailed with us. So we all embraced him as far as him, like gang banging and this and that. No, we first of all, we weren't gonna have him doing. Who gonna do that? People get the perception of him saying he from the hood or him yelling MOB. It was like he color gang banging. He gonna first crip he see is a fighter. First enemy of the mob, he on that. It wasn't about that. He represented the hood because he liked what we represented. Period. As people, it wasn't even about Piru. It was about the mob.
Right.
The way we get down, the way we all move. It wasn't a whole bunch of us, so they knew we all standing strong. Period. And that's more of what Pac clicked with.
Right.
It wasn't really, it was about Suge, because Suge brought him around, but his bonds with Buntree, Bone, myself, Rock, rest in peace, he loved niggas, all of us, you know what I mean? And it was a mutual feeling. Him and Trey was real close in age, so it was all love, dog, period. It wasn't, I hear certain people say certain shit, but at that time in life, everybody was great and loved it.
Yeah, it's not like he was putting in work on the streets. Obviously, he's a rapper. He's a famous, he's a celebrity.
Right. It's not like he grew up in the hood. You know what I mean? But he was embraced for sure.
You feel like he was just kind of loyal to whoever was loyal to him?
Absolutely. And he wasn't no punk, so it's easy to fuck with somebody like that because y'all remind yourself. Like they used to say we was a lot alike. Like I ain't going for it. And he was like, he didn't give a fuck that he was small. He didn't give a fuck how big he was. He wasn't finna bow down.
Yeah.
Everybody loved Pac, man. Even the ones who wasn't around Death Row, fuck with Pac. Period. They come around, it'll look like a concert around there. Everybody from everybody's neighborhood, they'll come. Some certain Crip dudes just try to put on some regular clothes, not dressed like us or nothing, but put on some regular, normal shit and pass by. Everybody liked Pac,
I mean, reportedly, Orlando Anderson even said he was a Pac fan back then.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah. Do you have any other memories of any other Death Row stars like Snoop?
Yeah.
Dre and them?
I was with Suge when they did the depositions for Snoop murder case.
Oh, wow.
Snoop used to have his ring. I swear to God, I thought it was the flyest shit ever at the time. It was made it was a pinky ring, but it's made kind of like a pyramid. A lot. Snoop was around. Everybody, like I say, him too. It wasn't no... People think that the two sides of Death Row was separated or, they over here. No, we was all in that bitch together.
Right. before things kind of separated, but
Right.
it wasn't like that. the
No,
whole
it
time,
wasn't.
right? What do you remember from the depositions from Snoop's murder trial?
I was just riding with Suge. I didn't even go in the courtroom. I sat outside. I didn't want to go in the courtroom.
Right.
But just going, walking, and the worry, they didn't know what was going to happen. You know, the lawyers was confident. Nobody in that position is 100% confident, whether you did it or not. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
he
you
didn't
never
He
know.
didn't know what was going to happen.
And then what do you remember when he was acquitted?
It was like a weight lifted off. Everybody. Suge was happy. Snoop was elated, of course. You know what I mean? Everybody was happy. The lawyers won, but in all actuality, it could have went to, you know, anyway. Like I said, whether he did it or not, he could have still been sitting in jail for that shit.
Yep.
And I think he, as far as like the relationship between him and Suge, he still owe a lot of gratitude to Suge for that. Because regardless if he did something or not, he knows his life is on the line. Period.
Right. And he got access to the best defense he could get
Yeah.
because of Suge.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Dre? Do you have any impressions of him? Or?
Only one, the California Love video. And I didn't really see Dre too much after that. By the time I came around, like was there daily, Dre wasn't around. Hardly ever.
What was the California Love video like? Were you out like in the desert?
No, it was in the neighborhood
Oh, okay.
that day. And then they went to the swap meet and I didn't go, I wasn't there for the desert part of it.
Do you remember Kadada being around?
Yeah. Yeah, see, I lived with Suge and Pac used to live right down the street. So I would always, and then the Outlawz was there. Pac had video games, like arcades and shit in his house. So I was always down there.
And where was that at?
In Malibu Canyon. Yeah, she was there with him and she didn't come out the room a lot. He didn't either. She said, leave me alone. What, y'all good? All right. That was it. But daily, no, I was always down there.
Right.
Yeah, it was a great time, bro. I'm telling you, it was an amazing time in my life.
Yeah, I mean, to be a 16-year-old, I mean, I was hanging out with Tupac when I was 16. Like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, right. Right.
To be a grown adult in that situation would be rad, but to be like a
Right.
teenager,
Right.
right? Like,
Right, and I mean, I wasn't even like, I wasn't trying to take no picture. I was just there, you know what I mean? So never would have thought or foresaw what was gonna come.
right.
So I don't need no pictures or none of that. It wasn't no groupie shit, none of that, you know? It was a good fucking time. And that's another thing why they were saying, people would say, a lot of shit Pac was saying as far as how the mob goes or whatever. Suge wasn't making Pac say that. He couldn't make Pac say. Pac wasn't scared of Suge either. But that's what he fucked with. He liked the homies. So the things that he said, he wrote that shit. He didn't, nobody tell him to say that.
Right. Yeah, no one's gonna tell Tupac what to rap.
Nah.
So,
You know, Suge said he tried to sign him before when they did How Long Will They Mourn Me? You're right, that was on Above the Rim. And he said he was telling Pac, like, man, you know, I got these white, these Jewish business partners. You can't be saying about fuck white people. He told Suge, well, fuck you too. He said back, he was like, fuck you too, Pac. But he said that moment was what made him like him. Like, I really want to sign him now.
because he was like,
I'm not bowing down to you either. So when he eventually signed him, you know, he said that story a bunch of times, because once he signed him, he was like, yeah, that's little bro now.